Hey, I'm Jim Barry, and welcome to the newest episode of Miami Life. On this show, we drill down on the big topics and get up close with the people who make South Florida so unique. Well, we lead off today with a visit to Fort Lauderdale to chat with a man who is both pioneer and progress seeker. Mayor Dean Trantalis first sought public office there 20 years ago as a history-making voice for the gay community. Well, now the mayor sees himself as an advocate for everyone while moving Fort Lauderdale out of Miami's shadow.
Well, first of all, you need to change the name to Fort Lauderdale Life.
Okay. All right. There is no bigger cheerleader for Fort Lauderdale than its mayor, Dean Trantalis. From his downtown office, he has a bird's eye view of how fast his city is growing.
30 years ago, none of these buildings existed.
Long nicknamed the Venice of America, Fort Lauderdale has loads of waterfront charm. But lately, water has become its biggest problem. Downpours, likely brought on by climate change, have exposed glaring vulnerabilities in some Fort Lauderdale communities.
These neighborhoods were built without storm drains, were built without proper sewer and water lines. All of these things have been revealed to us over the years.
Dean Trantalis broke into local politics 20 years ago when he was elected as the first openly gay Fort Lauderdale City Commissioner.
When you were on the commission, there were a lot of votes that went 4-1.
Yes.
And you were the one.
I know. A lot of those decisions that were 4-1 have been reversed, and I'm very proud to think that the community has evolved to where we can embrace the change that was necessary.
Now, as mayor, he's still not afraid to go against the grain. To solve Fort Lauderdale's traffic problems, he favors a new downtown tunnel instead of a less costly bridge.
It doesn't take much thinking to figure out that it's not just about dollars and cents, it's about quality of life. This would be a permanent wall that would divide our communities forever. And that's not something we want to do.
Trantalis also bristles at how Governor Ron DeSantis' ultra-conservative stance has rankled the LGBTQ community.
We have a pocket of inclusion here. We have a growing LGBTQ population here in the greater Fort Lauderdale area. We're going to stand our ground, and we're going to make sure that no one interferes with our equal rights.
The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup. Lord Stanley is coming home.
Have you ever been to a Panther game? Mm-hmm. They are, it's packed, filled with people, excitement, hope.
These days, Trantalis sees himself not just as mayor, but as Fort Lauderdale's leading salesman. When Broward's biggest pro sports franchise, the Florida Panthers, won the Stanley Cup, Trantalis was quick to put Fort Lauderdale front and center. It's where the players party and where the team hosted its victory parade.
You do know they play in Sunrise.
They do play in Sunrise, but their administrative offices are here, their practice rink is here, their team members live here, so,
You're not trying to steal the Panthers. Sunrise, are you?
We just want to make them feel welcome wherever they choose to be.
Would you love to see a Panthers arena in Fort Lauderdale?
Sure. There are talks about that. I think the experiment of putting the arena out there in West Broward was not successful.
When he needs to get away from the pressures of politics, Trantalis retreats to the Connecticut countryside and his pet project.
When I bought the house, the entire front was completely rotted.
Trantalis has spent years meticulously restoring this mansion just for the fun of it. It's another sign of how he enjoys building for the future. As for building for bigger political ambitions, well, let's just say he's keeping those cards close to the vest.
My work is not done, so I'm not really looking forward to running for any other office, and this is a place where I feel I need to be.
That doesn't sound like a no.
Well, this is where I am today.
A sneaky laugh there, huh? Now, another important issue Mayor Trantalis faces, what to do about Fort Lauderdale's homeless crisis. And the city is struggling to find solutions, and the clock is ticking. A new state law banning homeless people from sleeping in public parks, beaches, and other public spaces goes into effect October 1st. Come January, cities that do not enforce the new law could face lawsuits. And complicating matters, Broward Sheriff Gregory Toney says his department will not lock people up under the new law simply for being homeless. In a Labor Day op-ed for the Sun Sentinel, Sheriff Toney wrote, "Homelessness is not a crime, and the county jail system is not a solution to the homeless crisis." He continued, rounding up the homeless and bringing them to downtown Fort Lauderdale or Pompano Beach to be housed in the county jail is neither a good solution nor an available one. Well, for many Miami-Dade residents, public transportation is a sore subject. Those who rely on it say the county's bus system is unreliable. And that's why some folks were upset to hear Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Levine Cava wanting to take money and manpower away from the transit department to deal with issues elsewhere. As CBS News Miami's Larry Sieber tells us, some transit users say that plan could just make things worse.
They're tired of waiting. Metro bus riders, some fresh off Metro rail, hopped in Ubers to avoid getting home late again.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but it's really the traffic that make the ride bad.
More often than not, Ashley Betancourt is 30 minutes too late. She lost her car to a crash 2 months ago while working downtown to save and buy repairs. This Miami-Dade College biology student dreaming of becoming a doctor depends on buses to carry her to class.
It's awful. Sometimes my mom come and pick me up, but the other times I have to wait.
Mark Merwitzer says 1,000 other riders feel the same. As Associate Director of Transit Alliance Miami, a nonprofit pushing for faster, more reliable service, they survey passengers.
It's not just with this administration, but it's been suffering for a very, very long time for our bus passengers. Buses getting delayed, equipment challenges. A lot of operators are calling out sick, and also just in general, there's a shortage of both buses and parts, and also operators.
The Alliance supports County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava's better bus network, delivering more routes to more people. Her new budget for next year makes transit a priority, with 14 new stations and new rapid service connecting Pinecrest, Palmetto Bay, Homestead, and Florida City to Dadeland. But the budget also takes more than $1 million away from transit's operation and maintenance. Most of it goes to the infrastructure department, the team responsible for road, bridge, and stormwater repairs. The mayor's office did not respond to emails or calls from CBS News Miami, but staff reports say the move beefs up preventative maintenance for transit. The chair of Miami-Dade County's commission that gets final say over the budget sent us a statement saying, more than ever, Miami-Dade County remains committed to providing our residents with access to safe, clean, and reliable mass transit. As we seek organizational efficiencies that allow us to improve service, we should not measure success by simply ensuring that we spend the same amount of money. Rather, we should measure success by how well our Metro bus and Metro rail system connects people with opportunities that help them build a better tomorrow. It is my expectation that we will review the administration's proposed budget with that in mind.
What we're concerned about with this budget is we need more resources to address those concerns that the community has voiced to us directly.
While Merwitzer pushes riders to carry their concerns to the county's first budget hearing Thursday,
I'm not sure.
Betancourt hardly has time. Between school, work, and waiting for change, her hands are full.
Looks that way. Thanks to Larry Siebert for contributing that report. Up next, protecting yourself against skin cancer. It is something we all should do. We're going to show you how easy it is to spot the signs of skin cancer before it is too late. Welcome back to Miami Life. As we pointed out last week in our story about heat-triggered seasonal affective disorder, living in the Sunshine State comes with potential health pitfalls, and one of those is skin cancer. It's important not to overlook skin checks, and as Betty Wynn tells us, prevention is always the best protection.
I've had melanomas and squamous.
John Colonna is a boat captain who says he spent his entire life in the sun, often unprotected from damaging ultraviolet rays.
I'll put it this way, the melanomas can go into, if they get into the lymphatic system, well, then you can say goodbye. And after I'm 5 years out from a double lung transplant and doing wonderful, you don't want to mess up now.
And that's why this skin cancer survivor doesn't miss an appointment with double board certified dermatologist Dr. Elise Julian.
So the good news is that the vast majority of skin cancers are easily treatable.
Hopefully you can avoid that step with early detection. So I decided to get a skin check.
What is that red spot right there? That's called a cherry angioma. It's normal. We do get them with a little bit more wisdom, so you're going to probably get a little bit more.
Is that your nice word for
age? That's my nice word for age, yes.
It only takes about 15 minutes. And yes, these paper robes are as comfortable as they look.
It's not uncommon to find skin cancers actually in the scalp people are unaware of.
Research shows the part line in your hair is at an increased risk due to exposure.
You look at all your moles on your face and open your mouth really wide. Perfect.
You might be surprised you can get skin cancer in your mouth, behind your eyes, and even in your private areas that are not exposed to the sun.
So I'm looking for the pigment I'm checking to see if there's any increased vasculature or abnormal pigment deposits.
You can actually spot some of these yourself, which could save your life. The American Academy of Dermatology has created the ABCDEs of melanoma as a guide. A is for asymmetry. Check to see if half of the spot is unlike the other half. B is for border. Is the shape irregular? C is for color. Does it vary in color? D is for diameter. Melanomas are usually larger than a pencil eraser. E is for evolving. Is it changing in size, shape, or color?
So I always tell my patients that if you have something new on your skin that you think is an injury, a pimple, a bug bite, but it's not healing, so it's going for several weeks, maybe even a month, and it hasn't gone away, that's another thing to bring to your doctor's attention.
And what about this white spot right here?
That's called idiopathic gut-tight hypomelanosis, and that is due to sun damage.
And while it's not cancer, it's also not something that's going away, which is a reminder that even if sun damage isn't deadly, it can be permanent.
Betty Nguyen, thank you so much for that story. Very important. Dr. Julian recommends sunscreen with a minimum SPF 30 when you're out in the sun and to reapply it every 2 hours while in sunlight. All right, still ahead of Miami Life, a local Girl Scout is hitting the beach, not to relax, but to save the environment. We'll show you her smart approach next. All right, time now to introduce you to a South Florida teenager who is making a difference. Her name is Amelia McKay, and she is working to clean up all the plastics and other garbage littering our local beaches. Our Melba Rodriguez shows us how Amelia's Project Smart works in the latest Miami Proud.
17-year-old Amelia McKay is on a mission to save the environment one piece of plastic at a time.
I'm definitely proud of the project. It's definitely one of the coolest things I've done.
Amelia is talking about the project she created, Plastic Smart, aimed to raise awareness about the environment and marine debris washing up on our beaches.
The main part of the project, though, was an educational curriculum I developed that Eco Adventures here is helping me run at the Nature Center as like a field trip option. It's designed for K through 12 students. They'll come here, learn about the plastic problem, do a beach cleanup.
And it's for her dedication and love for the earth that Amelia, who has been a Girl Scout since she was 5 years old, was awarded the Gold Award. It is the highest award a Girl Scout can earn.
It really felt on top of the world. Especially the place I was in. I was with a bunch of inspirational women, some girls from my Girl Scout troop friends. My mom was there. The CEO of Girl Scouts, she was there too, and it was really just a great moment and a great feeling.
And over winter break, she created this art installation using everything she collected on the beach, from bottle caps to crates and buoys, a creative way to reuse the debris found on our shores.
As a sea turtle conservation coordinator, Amelia is the next generation of park stewards in Miami-Dade County. And most importantly, connecting us and caring for the earth. From parkways to blueways, Amelia, we are so proud of you.
Like, change can be made if we work towards it. And just starting small can really equal some big change.
And Amelia says she would like to expand her project. It would include a library area at the Biscayne Nature Center where younger children and children with special needs could read or be read to about this environmental crisis. For more information on how you can help in beach cleanups, log on to our website, cbsmiami.com. Maribel Rodriguez, CBS News, Miami.
Maribel, thanks so much. All right, we all know that this is a football town. In fact, the Dolphins kick off Sunday when they host Jacksonville. And UM's college football season began with a bang with a blowout win over Florida in Gainesville. The Canes now ranked in the top 15, and the new quarterback, Cam Ward, is now a Heisman Trophy favorite. I talked to CBS Miami sports anchor Mike Cunio about how the Canes may have struck gold in the transfer portal with Ward.
Yeah, it's been a while since Miami has had a guy with this much hype around him. Go back to De'Aaron King before he got hurt. It's kind of similar style of a player, similar style of excitement, a guy who can both run and throw the ball. But when this guy's on the move, it's like controlled chaos. I'm not sure I want to call it chaos because that's a bad connotation.
Yeah.
But he's so in control. When he's rolling out, he can hit guys deep. He's looking downfield. He's not run first. It's certainly pass first. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
But
I was
he's
so
an
impressed.
electric player.
Yeah, and looks like the Canes really struck gold in the transfer portal with him. This is his third college now.
Yeah.
How did this guy keep transferring so much?
So he starts at Incarnate Word, right, at a high school. He's probably under-recruited because in high school he wasn't throwing the ball that much. That's probably more of a system thing. But every time he's transferred, he's leveled up. It's not one of these guys who transfers and makes maybe a lateral move or goes to a lesser program just so he can start. No, he ends up at Washington State at the Pac-12. The Pac-12 just fizzles away.
Right.
So now it's really mainly 4 conferences, and the ACC was up next. Remember, he was slated to go to the NFL. He had committed to going to the NFL before backing out and coming to Miami. So this is an NFL talent that the Canes have.
They certainly do. All right, and it looks like he's got some swag to go with it.
Yes, he does. When you watch him run out of bounds, you can see him making the smart play where he's like, just step out of bounds, not going to take on tacklers. But that was really upsetting those Florida guys because they really wanted to hit him, but he knew what to do. Yeah. And then when you see him make a big play and throws a touchdown, he's got that kind of old-fashioned Miami swag going on.
It's good to see it back for the U, and that swag will be on full display when Cam Ward and the Canes play Florida A&M Saturday night at 7 at Hard Rock Stadium. All right, we'll be right back. Well, Dolphins Hall of Famer Jason Taylor is making sure kids look cool as they return to school. JT's foundation again treated kids to a shopping spree in its annual Cool Gear for the school year. The students took part in a shopping trip at Old Navy and were joined by Dolphins players Jalen Phillips and also Braxton Berrios. Some Miami Dolphin cheerleaders, Miami Heat dancers, and even Billy the Marlin were there to add more flavor to the event. Each child receives $300 to shop for new clothes. The goal, build up the kids' self-esteem and allow them to focus on their classwork, as they should. All right, time to see what the Miami Life audience has to say. Last week, we brought you a story on how South Florida's heat wave could negatively impact our mental health. But as it turns out, not everyone minds the intense Miami heat. One user says she loves the heat, humidity, and the rain, but she does hate the mosquitoes. Another says heat is part of the deal of living here in Miami. Buy property on swamp land, expect a swamp. And another viewer notes that in New York City, the high was 73, and the clouds were gray for 40 hours straight. Is that good or bad? All right, keep sending your comments and feedback to CBS Miami at CBS.com. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Miami Life. Remember, new episodes drop every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. on our streaming platforms. I'm Jim Barry. Catch you later.